Hey everybody, and good Tuesday evening to you. It is Weather for Weather Geeks time. Another beautiful, beautiful day today. Now, we do have some changes coming over the next couple of days. Nothing real dramatic, but we won't see temperatures flirting with 80 anymore after today. We fell one shy of the record today. 80 is the record, set in 1947 and 1979. And officially at the Youngstown Warren Regional Airport, we had 79 this afternoon after a seasonable start to the day. Got down to 41 this morning, a little bit cooler than expected. First thing on this Tuesday morning, but we did see 80s in New Philly, in Wheeling, and in Pittsburgh. Record highs were established at a couple of these climate sites, including Du Bois over along I-80 in Pennsylvania, where the high temperature was a toasty 80 degrees this afternoon. You know me, I love a good sun lapse, or a time lapse of sunset, I should say. This is the scene in Boardman this evening. Looked like a crystal clear sky, just a few wispy cirrus clouds in the mix during the second half of the day today. Did you catch this last evening? A fireball meteor was spotted in many parts of Ohio and western PA, up into Michigan, into Ontario as well. And I got a couple of pictures and videos from some of our local folks on social media of this fireball meteor. It occurred around 7 p.m. last evening, not long after sunset. A meteor was spotted. Of course, you can still see with the aid of your smartphone camera or a point-and-shoot camera, you can still see the comet that's visible, that has been visible, I should say, over the last week or so. It's not as easy to spot with the naked eye as it was early last week. It's getting dimmer as it continues to move away from the sun and away from the Earth. But with the aid of some camera tricks, you can still see the comet. But we did have a fireball meteor in addition to the comet visible in the sky last evening. 2024, I'll tell you, it has been quite a year for stuff going on in the sky between the northern lights and the eclipse, of course, and the comet visible here in October, along with just some random meteors that we see, most years. It has been, quite a year for celestial happenings. In the meantime, there's not much happening across the lower 48 states this evening. This is the map plotting up all the watches and warnings across the lower 48. Not much. A couple of flood warnings still out in Florida. There's a fire weather warning in Connecticut. That's about it. Frost advisory, parts of the valley areas around Portland, Oregon. But that is, again, about it. Now, we do have a weather feature we're tracking for tomorrow, but it's a weak one. It's a cold front heading our way. This is going to try to touch off a shower or two towards the end of the day on our Wednesday, but I think more impactful perhaps, especially if you have some outdoor work to do on Wednesday, will be the gusty breeze. Leaves will be rustling, that is for sure, with the wind gusts occasionally topping 20-25 miles per hour. Not super windy. This is, in the grand scheme of things, no big deal, but we haven't had a whole lot of wind of late, and October is typically getting to be a fairly windy month, and we have had probably a less windy than average month of October. That's a stat I should actually look up this evening, see if my gut is right on that. I don't think we've had too much wind here in October, but it'll be a breezy day on Wednesday. And, this front's going to have a hard time scaring up more than a passing shower or two late in the day. Some lake effect clouds to kick off our Thursday, and then lots of sunshine Thursday afternoon, clear Thursday night. Here's the next weather maker on Friday. Now, I think there's a better chance of wet weather with this next front on Friday. Not great timing with this for high school football Friday evening. Now, it's not going to be a lot of rain, and we don't expect thunder and lightning, but passing shower or two, yeah, that's going to be a possibility, probably a greater possibility than with tomorrow's weather feature. So keep that in mind if you have some plans for late in the afternoon into the evening on our Friday. But overall, the next week will not bring us much rain. Here's one model depiction of the next week. The European model showing less than a half an inch worth of rain between now and early next week in northeast Ohio and northwest PA as well. So we're going to have a couple of rain chances, but it's not going to be much. We're going to have more sunny days coming up, that is for sure. We're also going to have some warm days. Now, it's not going to be as warm as today. Here's a look at where we've been over the last 2 weeks, mostly above the average with a little interlude of 3 or 4 days here of below average temperatures. And of course, we've been way above average over the last few days. And while we will have a couple of dips here, it's only back to average or a couple of degrees below average. Next week, though, looks pretty balmy. The run up to Halloween. We're not going to see 80 degrees, but I think we've got a good shot at some lower 70s. All right, before we leave you this evening, let's talk about the winter forecast a little bit. We'll do this on quiet weather evenings occasionally over the next couple of weeks. Don't forget my annual winter forecast is coming up on Monday, November the 11th. And what the map we're looking at here, what this is our current analogs for the month of December, not the entire winter, just the month of December. One thing that is on the table, I think, for the upcoming winter is a fast start to the season. It's no guarantee it's going to happen, but in a lot of our analog years, past years that we think closely resemble the run-up to winter and the subsequent winter season, similar years to this year, we think. There were quite a few of those analog years in which December was a colder than average month. The rest of the winter, maybe not so much. But this is something we're looking at as a possible outcome for December. And a lot of times this does happen in La Niñas. Now, there's a lot of other things that go into the winter forecast other than it being a La Niña winter. But just looking at things from the 30,000-foot view, a cold start to winter, more common in La Niña winters than El Niño winters. The opposite tends to happen in an El Niño winter. An El Niño winter tends to have a slow start to winter, December being warm, with colder risks later in the winter. La Niña tends to be kind of the opposite. But not all La Niñas or El Niños are alike, that is for sure. We've got our work cut out for us when it comes to the winter forecast this year. We'll be talking about it over the next few weeks. Don't forget, November the 11th is when that winter forecast will debut. In the meantime, thanks for watching on this Tuesday evening. Have a great rest of your night. I will see you right back here on Wednesday.